Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंसकाचार्य श्रोत्र छत श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शीला प्रभुपाद की, इस्कॉन आचार्य शीला प्रभुपाद की, नमाचार्य शीला हरिदास ठाकुर की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So, welcome to this morning Bhagavatam class. Today we are reciting the verse from Canto 4, Chapter 19, King Prutu's 100 horse sacrifices, and the text number 10. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 10. Iti cha Adokshja sasya Rutostu paramodayam Asuyan Bhagavan Indra Pratigatam achikarat Iti cha Adokshja sasya Rutostu paramodayam Asuyan Bhagavan Indra Pratigatam achikarat Iti chadokshje sasya Krutostu paramodayam Asuyan Bhagavan Indra Pratigatam achikarat. Prabhuji. Iti chadokshje sasya Rutostu paramodayam Asuyan Bhagavan Indra Pratigatam achikarat. Iti chadokshje sasya Rutostu paramodayam Asuyan Bhagavan Indra Pratigatam achikarat. Iti chadokshje sasya Rutostu paramodayam Asuyan Bhagavan Indra Pratigatam achikarat. Iti chadokshje sasya Rutostu paramodayam Asuyan Bhagavan Indra Pratigatam achikarat. Word to word meaning. Iti, thus, cha, also, Adokshja isasya, who accepted Adokshja as his worshipable lord. Pruto, of King Prutu, tu, then, Parama, the topmost, Udayam, opulence, Asuyan, being envious of, Bhagavan, the most powerful, Indra, the king of heaven, Pratigathim, impediments, Achikarat, made. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please repeat the translation. King Prutu was dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Adokshja, because King Prutu performed so many sacrifices. He was superhumanly enhanced by the mercy of Supreme Lord. King Prutu's opulence, however, could not be tolerated by the King of Heaven, Indra, who tried to impede the progress of his opulence. Purport. In this verse, there are three significant purposes expressed in the word Adokshja, Bhagavan Indra, and Prutu. Maharaj Prutu is an incarnation of Vishnu, yet he is a great devotee of the Lord Vishnu. Although an empowered incarnation of Lord Vishnu, he is nonetheless a living entity. As such, he must be a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although one is empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and as an incarnation, he should not forget his eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Kali Yuga, there are so many self-made incarnations, rascals, who declare themselves to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The words Bhagavan Indra indicates that a living entity can even be as exalted, powerful as King Indra, or even King Indra is an ordinary living entity in the material world and possesses the four defects of conditional soul. King Indra is described herein as a Bhagavan, which is generally used in reference to Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this case, however, King Indra is addressed as a Bhagavan because he has so much power in his hands. Despite his becoming Bhagavan, he is envious of incarnation of God. Prutu Maharaj, the defects of material life are so strong that due to contamination of King Indra becomes envious of an incarnation of God. We should try to understand, therefore, how a conditioned soul becomes fallen. The opulence of King Prutu was not dependent on material conditions. As described in this verse, he was a great devotee of Adokshja. The word Adokshja indicates the personality of Godhead who is beyond the expression of mind and words. However, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears before the devotee in his original form of eternal bliss and knowledge. The devotee is allowed to see the Supreme Lord face to face, although the Lord is beyond expression of our senses and beyond our direct perception. Let's do Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktarundra Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. So welcome to this morning Bhagavatam class. We are continuing the Prithvi Maharaj pastimes from Canto 4. So this chapter, the title is King Prithu's 100 horse sacrifices. So as we briefly recollect what all had happened in the previous verses, after having the Prithvi Maharaj and the Mother Earth provided all the necessary required ingredients, and everybody from the different planets, they came and acquired all that required their ingredients, whatever is required as per their nature, they collected from Mother Earth. In the form of calf, they came and they collected everything. And then the Prithvi Maharaj continued his opulence. Like he was doing sacrifices. So Ashwamedha Yajna, 100 sacrifices he started. Then all the Supreme Lord Vishnu himself came, and many other so heavenly planet people, the demigods and people, they came to this yajna. So, and by seeing this yajna, where Prithvi Maharaj is getting so much power after doing this, though his intention is not to get the Indra's position, but he is doing for the pleasure of, Prithvi Maharaj is doing for the pleasure of Supreme Lord, this yajna. But King Indra was very fearful, like, okay, this person may complete 100 and he will take out my position. But in fact, if you understand, King Indra's position is fixed for Manvantara. Until that Manvantara is completed, nobody can replace him. But still, in the conditioned envy nature, he was not realizing the original fact, and he was very fearful that, okay, anybody can come and take my position. That was his fear. So, if you see in this, then in the today's verse, we are seeing that again, the King Prithu was, if you read the translation, King Prithu was dependent on Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Adokshja. Because King Prithu performed so many sacrifices, he was superhumanly enhanced by the mercy of Supreme Lord. King Prithu's opulence, however, could not be tolerated by kings of heaven, Indra, who tried to impede progress of his opulence. So now Indra is trying to create disturbance to this sacrifice. If you see the purport, Prabhupada was mentioning three things: Adokshja, Bhagavan Indra, and Prithvi Maharaj. So, if you see the word Adokshja, it is mentioned in the last paragraph of the purport, who is beyond our material perception, which is beyond our mind and senses. We cannot understand Krishna. Adokshja is a name of a Krishna, and which means is beyond our material senses understanding, or either through the mind or the senses, we cannot understand Krishna. That is the meaning of Adokshja. There are many meanings. I'll give few more meanings of Adokshja. In some conclusion, all give the same message. It is beyond our material perception. Other than Aksha means eyes. Akshaja means knowledge directly received from these senses. So that is a Akshaja. So Adokshja means it's beyond beyond the knowledge received by these material contaminated senses. That is, the source of that knowledge is Krishna, who is Adokshja. Another way is, in general, in this material world, we try to get the knowledge through experiment. Unless I see something, I don't believe. That is our conditioned nature in this material world, right? So everything we wanted proof, evidence, some experimental evidence through which our senses can believe, then we can agree that, okay, this is a real truth. But in case of Bhagavan, Supreme Lord, we cannot understand anything through experimental things. If you do in a science, you repeat the experiment, every time you repeat the experiment, you will get the same result. But if you want to understand the bhakti, each devotee will have a different path, different way of service. But everybody will get the same Krishna at the end. But you cannot prove. It's only how you will get this knowledge of Krishna, only through devotion. When you perform devotion, then only you will be able to understand Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Radha Gopinath is there. So we cannot understand Krishna by any experimental means. That's why is beyond our understand. We cannot understand using our senses or experimental things which we do in normal material world. That's why he is Adokshja. Another important meaning of Adokshja we can understand. See, Adha means down, right? Urdhva means up, Adha means down, right? So suppose if you want to see some addition, anything, it should be right in front of your visible range, right? That is the expected thing. Then you can see the anything properly. If you are not seeing the particular object, even though no barrier is there in front of you, but you are not able to see that object, which means either it could go up, either it is down, then you cannot see, it is not in the visible range, right? The same way, Krishna, the Supreme Lord Krishna, is transcendental to material world, right? He is beyond the three modes of material nature. He is above this material, this material world, whatever we are suffering, it is not impacted by Krishna. So Krishna is above this material world, so he is on the top. But where are we? We are in the conditioned material world. Our senses, we cannot, through our normal conditioned senses, we cannot see Krishna. That's why we are down. So below this transcendental, we are in the material world. So that's why for Krishna, Adokshja means, so we are down from his visible range. So that is another meaning we can understand Adokshja. Now, if we try to understand more about Adokshja, like in general, normal sense, like we can, in this case, Aksha means eyes. Whenever if I try to refer the senses, I'm talking in relation to eyes. Suppose if everybody can see in many things through their eyes. But after a certain age, we try to use glasses. Why? Because our eyesight will diminish and we start using glasses to read the text or read anything, to see anything, right? So that is one. So though we can see many things through eyes with our senses, but sometimes we need glasses. And there are many other things which are very small items. And what we do, we try to use microscope. And if the objects are very far, we try to use telescope. And in the current technology, we have night vision glasses, right? People using night vision glasses. So what we are trying to do, when the senses are there, when our senses power is diminishing, we try to get external instruments to get the knowledge through our senses. Whatever we are trying to get the knowledge through our senses, we are using external instruments to get this. So either we can see through the eyes, or we can use the glasses, we use the microscope or the telescope or any other night vision glasses, and so many new technology. So we can do. But when it comes to Krishna, because we are calling it Adokshja, none of these things will work. If you are materially conditioned, if you are in a completely materially entangled, you cannot understand Krishna, anything by this. So when you see with your eyes, you can understand what is the height of that person, right? How far he is away. Like all these, many things you can see. So, but all these things, we cannot, if you apply same logic to Krishna, whether you will, in a material, generally physical point of view, can you see how big is Krishna? Can you see how far he is away from Krishna? Let's see some examples from Srimad Bhagavatam, how people fail to understand these small things of Supreme Lord Krishna with their material understanding, material senses. They fail to understand the height of the Krishna, the size of the Krishna, everything, because they cannot understand Krishna with a normal material conditioned senses. That's why he is a Adokshja. So one example we could see is Bali Maharaj pastime. If we take the Bali Maharaj pastime, so the Vamandev, Bali Maharaj was doing the sacrifice, and the Vamandev came as a dwarf Brahmana, very small little Brahmana. By seeing the little small Brahmana, everybody thought, okay, he's a normal Brahmana boy. Though his size is very small, but nobody could predict that, like particularly Bali Maharaj and any other people who are doing the sacrifice, they could not understand, interpret that, oh, he's a Supreme Lord Krishna, because he's a very small boy. And then in the yajna, he requested 3 steps of land, space, right? So then Bali Maharaj was asking, I am big king, I am the big emperor, and you are asking very small 3 steps, I can give more bigger than this. That was his understanding. And even Shukracharya could understand that, okay, it's not a small, normal, ordinary small boy, he is a Supreme Lord Krishna only. But yeah, finally, Guru Bali Maharaj very fixed that, okay, he committed 3 steps and he wanted to give. And what happened? When the 2 steps, he completely complete this material world. And the 3rd step, he crashed into the under. So this is what, and we can, though Directly we are seeing the small boy is there. Bal Maharaj initially he could not understand. Later he realized it in the final stage, but in the beginning he was not able to identify him as a Supreme Lord. So that is why the example, we cannot understand Krishna with our normal senses. That's why he's beyond our material understanding or material perception. So that's why he's Adokshja. And if you see another pastime from Srimad Krishna's pastimes, it is Trinavarta pastime, the wind demon. What happened in this case? Krishna, the mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj celebrating first birthday of Krishna. And mother Yashoda was keeping Krishna on her lap. But Krishna knew that, okay, one more demon is going to come and he has to exhibit the pastime. So what he did, he started increasing his weight. Then mother Yashoda was feeling Krishna very heavy. Then he kept him down, mother Yashoda kept Krishna down and she went. And meanwhile, the Trinavarta came, the wind demon. So everything, because of so much heavy winds are coming, like hurricanes or whatever you call in the current. So like that winds are coming and everything is dark. Nobody could see anything. And meanwhile, Trinavarta came and took the Krishna away. He flew into the sky. He went up in the high sky. And then what happened? Krishna, again, immediately he started showing his potency. So he started increasing his weight. And he was keep on increasing the weight. At one stage, Krishna, the Trinavarta was feeling very heavy. He could not hold Krishna. Then finally, he fell down and he died. So, small boy, the Trinavarta understood, okay, he's a small boy, Krishna is very light. So accordingly, he prepared to take Krishna. But what happened? Krishna started increasing his weight. So this is why we cannot understand Krishna with a normal senses. He is an Adokshja. And generally, one more, this is with the two measures, two character qualities. One size, other one is weight. We cannot understand with anything. The third one, the presence of Krishna. See, we are in this room. Outside world, outside of this room, what is happening? We can't see. We can't be there at two places at one time. Even sometimes, great mystic yogis, they perform so much meditation, they will acquire so many siddhis. But still, they can't be there at two places at the same time. But if you see Krishna in Dwaraka, he was there with 16,108 wives, same time. Narada was seeing this and he was bewildered. How can Krishna and then same thing in a rasa dance. Every gopi was feeling that Krishna is dancing with them, right? So this is the presence of Krishna. We cannot do anything, but this is how Krishna reciprocates with his devotees. He can be there everywhere. So he can be smaller than the smallest and bigger than the biggest. And he can be anywhere, right? So that is the quality of Krishna. Because of that, we cannot understand Krishna. Only through devotion, we will understand. If any outside normal person, if we say all these stories, they'll say, yeah, it's a mythological story, it's not a true incident, right? But only devotees with proper devotional service, people can understand these facts and we can correlate. When we see Radha Gopinath in the temple, we can remember all those. If a normal person, when he come to the temple, okay, he will take the dandavat or obeisances, just sees a marble deity. But the devotees, when he sees Radha Gopinath, what we think? We remember all these pastimes. Is Radha Gopinath, same Krishna who killed Putana when he was 6 days old. He came as a Narasimhadev, he protected Prahlad Maharaj. We remember, we connect all those things, right? That is our mood. That how you are getting? Through this devotion. You are seeing that Krishna is not as a marble stone, but you are connecting to the Supreme Lord and remembering his pastimes. That is the effect of bhakti. So in that case, you are seeing Krishna as not just a stone, you are seeing real Krishna. And other parameter in terms of understanding Krishna is causeless mercy. See, in this material world, there are many people are doing so many bad activities. Like in the example we can in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jagai Madai, they did so many bad activities. They tried to hurt Nityanand Prabhu, right? But finally what happened at the end? He gave the mercy. That is what the one of the important characteristics. We talk in terms of punishment. Any bad thing happens, we try to give punishment. But Krishna is going to showering his mercy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, initiated Sankirtan movement. Through this Sankirtan movement, he is showering the mercy and trying to bring us in the right path. So these are all the various ways we can understand why Krishna is Adokshja. In the normal sense, we cannot understand, but we take these 4 or 5 parameters, we try to see how people fail to understand Krishna, because they're materially conditioned. They are not on the platform of devotion. Because of that, they could not understand Krishna. Only way is understanding Krishna is by performing bhakti. Now, other thing in this purport, this is Adokshja, which I want to touch on the topic Adokshja, because Prabhupada was explaining Adokshja and touching multiple things related to Adokshja. So the next point, so in this purport, Prabhupada was mentioning 3 points. One is Adokshja, next about Prithu Maharaj, third one is Indra. So in this case, Prithu Maharaj we see, right, he is a Shaktavesha avatar, right? He got the ruling Palana Shakti of Krishna was empowered, given to Prithu Maharaj. See, if you see generally Krishna is always in the Goloka, he is playing flute, he is playing with cows and gopis, right? But at the same time, he is doing so many activities in this whole material world. He is creating the material world, he is doing many other activities. How he is able to do? With his energies. Like energy, internal and external energy, right? So with all these energies, he is doing various activities. And this energy is non-different from Krishna. We should not see the energy of Krishna is separate from Krishna. Both are, it's identical. So the same energy, the Palana Shakti of Krishna is given to Prithu Maharaj. So that's how he was empowered with that Palana Shakti. That's why he is a Shaktavesha avatar. He is non-different from Krishna. But how he is behaving here? He is like a normal, humble devotee. If you see the previous chapters where the professional reciters glorifying Prithu Maharaj, then what he said? Don't glorify me. I haven't exhibited any of those qualities yet. So that shows how humble he is. So, and he was saying, he was completely showing himself as a devotee of Krishna and surrendered soul. So that is what the nature is exhibiting. But other side, he mentioned, Prabhupada was mentioning the verse is also saying Bhagavan Indra. But what Indra, what he is doing, he is envious towards Prithu Maharaj. He wanted to create disturbance to the sacrifice. Though Prabhupada was explained, Bhagavan, why he is referred as a Bhagavan here? In the material context, he is very powerful. Just to resemble how powerful he is using the word Bhagavan. But he is not actually Bhagavan. Bhagavan is, we know the Parasara Muni gave the definition of Bhagavan, who is Bhagavan. But he is not the real Bhagavan, but just as a comparatively, to show his power in this material world, he is, that it is mentioned as a Bhagavan Indra. See, one side this person is like a Bhagavan, but he is showing envious. And the other side, Prithu Maharaj is the incarnation of Krishna, but he is exhibiting the quality as a humble devotee, humble servant of Lord. See the difference how we can. So in this material world, if you get small power, if you have a small little finger of this power, what we see, we exhibit pride of this 5 fingers worth, right? That is our material tendency. Whatever we get very small power, but we exhibit too much pride because of that power. Right? Same thing Indra is doing. Indra is a very powerful, but still he got a powerful position. His position is fixed, but what he is thinking? He is trying to create disturbance. Like we see in the subsequent verses, he will come as a rishi and he will take the horse. And he is not coming directly as Indra. He doesn't want to reveal that, okay, Indra is coming and stealing. That he is coming in the form of a sage and he is stealing the Indra, and the horse is trying to create a disturbance. If you see Indra, he did so many such activities in the Bhagavatam we could see. Same in the case of Govardhan Leela, right? So in the Vrajavasis, they wanted every year they perform Indra Puja, but Krishna somehow convinced them to perform Govardhan Puja this time. And when they did Govardhan Puja, Indra got very angry and he sent the Samvartak, and he created so much disturbance in Brajavasis, right, in Vrindavan. Finally, Krishna lifted Govardhan and he performed Leela, And then finally he realized that, okay, he's Krishna, is not Supreme Personality of God. So that is what his the tendency. He commits mistake, then he will realize later. So when Krishna is there in front of him, he cannot understand he is the Supreme Lord Krishna, unless with some learnings he will understand. So same way he did, this is one example where Govardhan Leela, we can see that Krishna, how he misunderstood Krishna. Same way, this Indra has another, this tendency to disturb, like even we do, Vishwamitra was doing the yajna, the tapasya, like this is a pastime related to Trishanku. Trishanku wanted to go to the heaven with the same body. Vashishta Muni said, we can't go with the same body. And then he approached Vishwamitra Rishi. And Vishwamitra was, okay, I will make you, send you this to heaven in the same body, but he couldn't do. He did, so he was doing so much. Then he wanted to create another separate heaven for this Trishanku. And he was doing so much austerities. Then Indra said, okay, if he is going to create another heaven, again his position will be in danger. So he sent Menaka and he created disturbance. Right? So we can see that Indra everywhere, these kind of things will happen. But why underlying reason why Indra does these things? We should not make, like Indra is occupied that position by doing 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas, right? He is not an ordinary person. But underlying reason, we try to understand why Indra does those things, right? So in one of the previous verses also it was mentioned, like, these are all, Indra is like, he's a fruitive worker, right? He does the work, he works very hard and he will get the result. So, and he thinks that because of my hard work, I am getting the result. And then he has, if any other person does similar hard work, they can get the same result and he will lose that result. Right? That kind of understanding he is having. But ultimately, he is forgetting that a blade of grass will not move without permission of Krishna. That point he was missing. Whatever, though he is getting with his work, but that is sanctioned by Krishna. That point Indra was always keep forgetting. And because of that, what the nature is, he try to work hard and he get the result. If anybody is doing a similar kind of work, he will be very fearful that, okay, he will be losing his position. So now we hear because of that nature, he always try to create disturbances in every time whenever some person is doing this kind of activity, he tries to see. So now with this purport, from this context of this verse, we see the three personalities. Adokshja, Krishna is there. One side Prithu Maharaj, other side Indra. Right? The Bhagavan Indra, that's what is mentioned. Now, what is the key takeaway we can take from this verse? Right? So, Prithu Maharaj is, even though incarnation of Supreme Lord, he is behaving like he's a humble devotee. He is exhibiting all the devotee qualities. Otherwise, and on Indra, he is a big personality, but he is envious towards great devotees. Right? So in the conditioned world, in the material world, in the conditioned nature, most of us will be exhibiting behavior like Indra. Sometimes we feel jealous, sometimes we feel envious. Not all the devotees, but most of the people in the outside world, right? When we are in the conditioned nature, we exhibit this kind of nature, where like Indra. So how we can transform, we can change ourselves from the Indra, the behavior of Indra we are exhibiting, to how we can exhibit the behavior of a Prithu Maharaj. The transformation, how it can take place, as we mentioned, is like the verse I would like to quote, the Srimad Bhagavatam 1:2-6 is Savai Pumsa Paro Dharma Yato Bhakti Adokshja Ahetuki Apratiyata Yayatma Suprasidati. Right? So Adokshja, Bhakti to Adokshja is an important thing. We have to do this Bhakti to Adokshja. How? Ahetuki, without any hetu, reason. Means we should not expect anything. And apratihata, uninterrupted. When we do this bhakti, when we do this Krishna bhakti to Adokshja. So in general, in all these examples, we see many people not able to see Krishna, real Krishna, who is Krishna, what is his ability, right? And thinking, since they are not able to understand Krishna because they are in conditioned nature, they cannot see original Krishna. So they are committing so many mistakes, right? So that is it. But Prithu Maharaj, he could see who is Krishna, what is he doing, what is the influence of Krishna on everything he is understanding, he is behaving accordingly. So if we have to, we move from the Bhakti, Indra's nature, the way Indra is behaving, we may also doing in our material world, conditioned nature, and to transform Indra's nature to the like Prithu Maharaj's nature, if we have to get, we have to perform Bhakti to Adokshja. Then what will happen? He will not be the beyond our material perception, he can come right in front of you. Example, Mother Yashoda, right? He is a Krishna. General, for normal people, he is beyond our material understanding. But what he is doing, Mother for Krishna, little, he came as a son, little Krishna. He is performing various leelas. In Vatsalya Bhava, Mother Yashoda is reciprocating. She is controlling Krishna. Not only just seeing Krishna, she was able to control Krishna. Right? So that is with her devotion, she is able to see Krishna face to face and she is able to control. Again, we can take example of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj, mother told, okay, you go to the forest. He doesn't know anything about Vishnu. And he went, mother told, okay, you go to the forest and do some bhakti. Krishna will give you the kingdom which is bigger than your great-grandfather. So he went to the forest. And then luckily, by the help of Supreme Lord, Narada Muni came and he guided what to do. And with that help, he was few 6 months back, 1 year back, he doesn't know who is Vishnu, where he lives. But within a 6 months of bhakti, the severe austerity, Vishnu came directly in front of him, right? He appeared right in front of him and he gave all the benedictions. Same way in terms of the Prahlad Maharaj, right? He was very small, 5-year-old boy. And for common people, 5-year-old boy, he doesn't know anything about God. He doesn't need to know anything about bhakti, right? But what happened? Lord directly came in the form of half human, half lion form, Narsingadev, and he protected. So for conditioned soul is beyond our material vision. But for devotees, he will come right in front of us and he will reciprocate. So that is the potency of bhakti. With the bhakti, Navada bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, with all these bhakti marga paths, we can do bhakti and we can see Krishna face to face. We can understand Krishna. We can understand his influence in our life. Everything, we can see Krishna properly. So then he will not be an Adokshja, but he will be like a Bhaktavatsala. He will be protecting us. Right? So I would like to conclude here. Any comments, any questions?
This intro we're talking about, is it the same intro as the intro
Yeah, so Indra.
Is it the same intro?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm not very clear, but yeah, I think, yeah. Because this Leela happens, the Krishna appears in many forms, many times, and different yugas, right? Different. So this is the general practice. Indra is a position every time. Currently Purandar is a Indra, and the next I think he will be Bali Maharaj is going to take the Indra's position in next Manvantara. Yes, Prabhu. See, because Indra, that's what is happening. So many times he does mistake, but at the same time he will correct himself and move on, right? After doing the Govardhan Leela, he realized his mistake and he came to Krishna and he offered prayers and so that is a bhakti only. He is correcting his mistakes and one more thing is, at what I heard, it is the position of Indra he got, it will be there for that Manvantara. Nobody can replace him. So that is the grand benediction he is having. So that way he will be there for full Manvantara. No.
Like we do bhakti, right? We do bhakti because we have this motivation to want to go back. Is that considered as selfish? Because we doing bhakti to bring so
So whether having the desire to go back to Godhead, is it with that motivation, if you do bhakti, is it a right thing or not? Yeah, that's yeah. So Prabhu, like how we can understand in the beginning when we start in the neophyte stage, we need some motivation, right? But there we can take that the understanding, right? We are in this material world. Our ultimate aim is to go back to Godhead. But why we are going back ahead? First thing we need to understand, to serve Krishna, right? That is the motivation. Not just going back to Godhead. We wanted to go back to Godhead, serve Krishna. That is the initial stage. As we progress in the bhakti, what will we like? In the Chaitanya, in Shikshastakam, it was mentioned, right? I don't mind where I am. I have always wanted to do service of Krishna. You will get into that mode. So when you doing the bhakti, when you progress in your bhakti, your desire to go back to Godhead it will not be there. Only desire will be there to serve Krishna wherever you are. That way the transformation will happen. That's the way you see. The beginning stage, you will have a desire to go back to Godhead, but not just going back to Godhead, to serve Krishna. That is the desire. But at the final stage, when you progress in bhakti, you will have the desire to go back to Godhead is not important. The desire is to serve Krishna forever. That will become your desire. So in the process of bhakti, you will be transformed into that stage. Yeah, but no, but Krishna, but one thing, it's not Krishna. Krishna will decide where you want to go, right? So you have to make Krishna happy, do everything without any, that the verse said, ahetuki apratihata, right? You should not have any motive. Okay, I want this. Like, I see like all the yogis, jnana yogis and all, they wanted to get out of the material world. Why? Because the material world is full of miseries. With that motive, they do all the jnana yogis and ashtanga yogis, they perform so much ashtanga. But the bhakti yoga, that is how bhakti yoga is different. Maybe you will have a desire, but that will be transformed without your knowledge into the service. That's how bhakti works. At that time you will not realize, okay, you feel, okay, you yourself will feel that, okay, whether I am in this world or heaven, I am happy to do so. But at the same time, Krishna is a Bhakta Vatsala, right, as we are discussing. He will not keep you in a position where you are not, it's Krishna based on your surrenderness, he will put you wherever you are eligible to go. So that's how you can take. But yeah, in the beginning, you keep that desire, right? Okay, I wanted to go back to Godhead and serve. That you keep that desire, but that will be translated into service at some point of time. Whether in this birth or next birth, we don't know. Adokshja, yeah. So, King Prithu is an incarnation of Supreme Krishna, partial incarnation of Krishna. He is like a normal living entity, Jiva, but he got the power from Krishna to rule the world. That's why we call it as a incarnation of Krishna or the Vishnu, but he is like a normal living entity like us. But he got the empowerment to rule the kingdom. That is Prithu Maharaj. He is the next question is Adokshja, means that's what I gave the example. With our normal senses, how we see material things, we cannot understand Krishna completely through our material senses. Only way, if you do service, then that your senses will be purified, all the contamination will be removed. Then you will understand Krishna, who is he, what he is doing. Then you will see everything, whatever happening in your life, you can see the role of Krishna in your presence of Krishna in that, right? So that transformation will happen through devotion. Your senses will be purified, then you will be able to understand Krishna. That's Adokshja. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrunda ki jai.